Hello and welcome to another edition of USF Crosstalk. I'm Ronnie Hawkins, and today we have a special guest with us, Dr. Kermit Staggers, who is a professor of political science and history here at the University of Sioux Falls, and also happens to be in a pretty big race for Sioux Falls mayor right now. So thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to come see us this morning, Dr. Staggers.
Well, thank you very much, Ronnie, for having me here today.
Awesome. Well, we'll just get right into it. As you know, there were a lot of candidates running for mayor this year. We had 6 total. What set Kermit Staggers apart from the rest of the field?
Well, in running against 6 candidates, you have to stand out above everybody else. If you don't, you're not going to get into the runoff. And so the main thing I tried to emphasize is that I was concerned about, trying to have less property taxes, less regulation, letting people have more of their own opportunity to go out and be successful in life. And I think that message played well because, after all, we did get in this runoff, and now we're running in an April 27th election.
Awesome, very good. The thing that's kind of really surprising to me is you ran such a great race. You got the most votes in the primary, but you also spent a relatively low amount of money in comparison with some of your candidates. How did you get your message out and get to voters while keeping your campaign fiscally responsible?
Well, one of the primary reasons is because that was our 10th election that we had been involved in. You know, we are experienced in elections. Most of my opponents really do not have very much experience in elections, and so consequently many of them hired consultants. So for example, when you start hiring consultants and ad agencies and running your elections, well, then that's going to cost a lot of money. Let me just give you an example. My present opponent right now, Michael Huther, he spent about $145,000 through April 8th on his election. Obviously, he's never been involved in politics before. He has no experience in government, and so there is a need for him to do that. On the other hand, during the same period of time, we spent $33,000. So he spent well over 4 times the amount of money that we did.
Wow.
Now that is, maybe I should, I'm sorry to interrupt,
but
it's okay. Sometimes people believe, well, the person who spends more money is going to be successful. Well, many times that's true, but it is not always true.
Very nice. An Argus Leader poll that was released a couple weeks ago had you polling ahead of the other 6 candidates in the primary for the mayor election, but it also kind of struck me too, it also showed you with the highest unfavorability rating. How do you respond to something like that?
That's exactly right. Well, I was asked that very same question on Kello TV just the other day, and very simply it's because more people know me. Now, I've been involved in elected office now for 16 years, and during 16 years I've had thousands and thousands of votes. And guess what? You're going to have some people not liking some of your votes. And so because of the experience I have, that's the reason I had the highest unfavorable ratings. The next person with the highest unfavorable ratings had the second most experience. So it seems like there's a correlation between experience and unfavorable ratings. For example, Mike Huther, my present opponent, I think he was down to 11% unfavorable ratings, but the reason for that is because nobody knew him. And so that's the explanation for that.
Oh, okay, very nice. One of the big issues in Sioux Falls over the past year, and something you even mentioned in one of your television ads, was the need or the not need for a Sioux Falls Event Center. Tell us a little bit about your position on that.
Well, that's a question that we've been asked literally hundreds and hundreds of times. Right from the very beginning, my position has been very clear. I've not changed it at all. Several years ago, there was a movement by a number of businessmen to try to get a coliseum. And this coliseum would actually be an indoor football field that, of course, would be used for college football, but also would be used for concerts and other activities. At the time, I was asked to be a part of a committee to try to get that going. And in talking to one of the individuals, I said, hey, I'd be happy to do that. I would support that. But there's only 2 requirements. One of the requirements is that we do not have any new taxes or tax increases. And secondly, that we do not have any subsidy. Well, I was happy when they told me that a donor was going to give $50 million and have no subsidy. I was really happy, but they could not guarantee no tax increase. So consequently, I could not take part in that committee. Later, this committee was transformed into the mayor's 18-member task force. And unfortunately, they proposed a tax increase, and so consequently, I could not agree. Now, eventually, though, we had the task force finding out that Pierre would not go along with this, and so I, of course, presented new proposals.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us for joining us this morning here on Crosstalk. And of course, for all of you that are registered voters in Sioux Falls, remember that the mayor runoff election is this next Tuesday, April 27th. And good luck to you, Dr. Staggers, in that race.
Hey, thank you very much, Ronnie.
All right, well, stay tuned. We have Brett Goose with sports coming up next.